This isn't just about range practice or, target shooting. We're talking about the critical moments, the absolute edge needed in personal defense. Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling a debate that's been around, well, seemingly forever. .45 ACP versus 9mm Luger. Which one really gives you that advantage when everything is on the line? We've dug into the history, the ballistics, the practical side, mainly drawing from that Valortech briefing, 45 versus 9mm, the 9mm versus 45 ACP pistol caliber debate. We want to get you the core facts.
Absolutely. And this isn't some new argument. Like you said, it really does go back more than 100 years. You've got the .45 ACP, John Browning's design, which the U.S. military picked up pretty early in the 1900s. The whole push behind it back then was this idea of needing serious immediate stopping power, a big, heavy bullet to end the fight quickly.
Right. So the famous 1911 pistol.
Oh, it became iconic.
So the .45 was basically born from this need for decisive impact in close combat situations of that time. A legacy built on one shot, one stop kind of thinking.
Pretty much. But at almost the exact same time, over in Europe, you had a different idea emerging with the 9mm Luger.
Developed in Germany, wasn't it?
Yes, around the same period. And it really took off across Europe and then, worldwide after World War II. Its strength was different. It was more about balancing a smaller, faster bullet with recoil that was easier to handle.
Making it more versatile.
Exactly. Suited more guns, more people could shoot it well. They saw the tactical pluses in that versatility early on.
Okay, so two pretty different starting points, two philosophies, really, shaped by their origins.
Yeah.
And when people argue about them, the first thing that always comes up is stopping power.
Always. That's the classic heart of the debate. For decades, the standard thinking was, pretty simple. The .45 ACP bullet is bigger, heavier, usually 230 grains, moving around 850 feet per second. So the assumption was it just had a better knockdown power because of that size and weight.
Just intuitively, bigger must hit harder.
Right, that was the gut feeling. But modern ballistics gives us a more complex picture. Velocity, how fast the bullet travels, is actually a huge factor. Your typical 9mm is moving much faster, maybe 1,100, 1,200 feet per second.
Okay.
And that speed is critical for kinetic energy transfer. Basically, how much energy it dumps into the target. So a faster, even if smaller, bullet can transfer a lot of energy and potentially cause very significant damage.
And the bullets themselves have changed massively too, right? It's not just about the caliber anymore.
Oh, absolutely. That's a crucial point. Ammunition tech has really evolved, especially for the 9mm. You've got these advanced hollow point designs that expand reliably, plus specialized stuff like the Inceptor ARX rounds. These newer designs have really improved how the 9mm performs when it hits. They focus on that energy transfer and creating effective wound channels.
So engineering has kind of leveled the playing field, or at least significantly closed that perceived stopping power gap.
You could definitely say that. It's addressed a lot of the old concerns about whether the 9mm could reliably stop a threat quickly.
Interesting. But the Valortech piece pointed out something important. Maybe focusing only on stopping power misses other key tactical factors.
Yes. Things like magazine capacity and how easy the gun is to shoot recoil management.
And that's where the 9mm tends to shine in modern thinking.
It does present a pretty clear advantage there. Think about capacity. A standard 9mm pistol often holds way more rounds than a similar size .45.
Like quite a bit more.
Yeah, easily. You might get 15, 17, even more rounds in a 9mm magazine compared to maybe 7 or 8 in a typical single stack .45 ACP mag.
Okay, that's a big difference.
It really is. In a self-defense scenario, you might need multiple shots. Having more rounds available without reloading is a huge tactical plus. More chances to get effective hits.
It just increases your odds, especially when things are chaotic and stressful.
Definitely. And then there's the recoil.
Yeah, anyone who's shot both side by side knows there's a difference.
A noticeable one. The 9mm generally kicks less than the .45 ACP, and that's not just about comfort, it directly affects how well you can shoot, especially quickly.
Better accuracy on follow-up shots.
Exactly. Less recoil means you can get back on target faster, keep your shots grouped tighter, especially under pressure. It's a big reason why 9mm is so popular for everyday carry. More people can handle it effectively.
Whereas the .45's heavier recoil
can be more challenging, yeah. Especially trying to fire rapidly. It can slow down those crucial follow-up shots if you're not really practiced with it.
So it's this trade-off. Perceived single-shot impact of the .45 versus the 9mm's higher capacity and better shootability for sustained fire.
That's a good way to put it. And you see this reflected in who's using what professionally.
Right. The military and law enforcement choices.
Yeah, look at the widespread adoption of 9mm NATO forces, the FBI, countless police departments. They've largely shifted to 9mm.
And the reasons they give usually circle back to.
Lighter recoil, higher capacity, and the fact that modern 9mm ammo performs really well now, the whole package makes sense for them.
But the .45 hasn't disappeared entirely.
Oh, no, not at all. It definitely still has its supporters, particularly circles that value its history or maybe prioritize that raw muzzle energy figure. But the overall trend, undeniably, leans towards 9mm for its balance.
And that trend seems mirrored in the civilian world, too. Just look at what's popular.
For sure. Guns like the Glock 17, SIG P320, dominant service pistols chambered in 9mm, the market reflects that preference for capacity and control.
Yet, that Velour Tech briefing brings up the ultimate trump card, regardless of caliber.
Yes, shot placement.
It always comes back to that, doesn't it?
It's the absolute key. Doesn't matter if you have a .45 or a 9mm or anything else, if you can't hit what you're aiming at, especially in a vital zone, the caliber discussion is almost secondary. A well-placed 9mm round is infinitely better than a poorly placed .45 round.
Which just highlights how critical training and proficiency are.
Paramount. Know your firearm, practice consistently, regardless of the caliber stamped on the barrel.
And then this whole debate isn't static either. Technology keeps moving.
Constantly. Ammo makers are always innovating for both calibers. We've seen huge leaps in 9mm hollow point effectiveness, better expansion, better penetration, more reliability. They keep pushing to overcome any perceived shortcomings.
And .45 ammo hasn't stood still either.
No, there are improved .45 loads too, designed for better performance, maybe managing recoil a bit better or ensuring expansion. The tech evolves on both sides.
So the goalposts keep shifting slightly.
They do, which makes declaring one better even harder, or maybe less relevant.
And if you just look at the market trends.
Well, the volume tells the story. 9mm dominates sales, firearms, and ammo production. That's clear.
Driven by that appeal of capacity and easier shooting for a wider range of people.
I think that's largely it. It's just very accessible and practical for many users.
But the .45 still carves out its niche.
Definitely. It has a dedicated following. Some people just shoot it well, prefer the feel, trust its history, and if you're proficient and confident with it, that matters too. Subjective factors play a role.
Okay, so we've covered the history, the stopping power arguments, old and new, the practical stuff like capacity and recoil, and how agencies and tech have shaped things. It feels pretty clear there's no simple winner-takes-all answer here.
Not even close. It's all about trade-offs. Both have real pros and cons. The best choice really truly depends on the individual. What are your priorities? What do you shoot best?
Right. If you need maximum rounds on board and want recoil that's easier to manage for fast, accurate follow-ups, the 9mm makes a very strong case.
A very compelling case in today's world. But if your priority is maybe that perceived single shot authority and you're comfortable managing the heavier recoil and lower capacity, the .45 is still a perfectly valid option.
So as we wrap up this deep dive on the .45 versus 9mm, the big takeaway isn't about crowning a champion. It's really about understanding those differences, those nuances, and making a choice that fits your needs, your abilities, and importantly, your commitment to becoming proficient through training.
Couldn't agree more.
And that leads us to a final thought for you, our listener. Thinking about everything we've discussed, the history, the ballistics, the practicalities, what qualities do you prioritize most in a defensive firearm? What factors really drive your decision-making process? Something definitely worth pondering as you continue to learn and prepare.